Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I'm the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I'd like to welcome everybody to the webinar today. Today's webinar is part of our leadership team series of webinars, and what we're going to go over today is the process for online renewals. Great way to get people to renew now rather than having to chase down a piece of paper for their renewal application. All of this can be done online through BNI Connect now. And today, we're going to show you how to do that. So today's, again, the online renewals is part of a leadership team series. We've already done so far this month. We've done the leadership team tools and reports. We've also done the goal planning. And then next week, we're going to wrap up this leadership team series with the chapter web pages. After that, we're going to start our member series of webinars, and we're going to start talking about how to complete your profile and how to do the referrals online and connecting with other members and member tools and reports and the visitor process. So hope to see you on some of the other webinars as well. Now, before we get started, just a very couple of quick housekeeping things. Firstly, this is a live webinar, at least if you are here with me on April 6th, 2017. You have the added privilege of being able to ask questions. So as we're going through the material, if you see anything, hear anything, not sure about anything, just go ahead and ask those questions. The best way to do that, really the only way to do that, is to type those questions in to the questions panel. You'll see the questions panel as part of that GoToWebinar software thing, and you can just type your question in there. I see it pop up on my screen, and I'll be able to answer that. If you are listening to this webinar in the future, you have found one of our recordings, so you'll be able to get in touch with us by email if you have any questions, support@bniconnect.com. I also added, as part of this, a handout. In the handouts section of this webinar software, you'll see an online referrals PowerPoint, online renewals PowerPoint. That is going to be the subject of what we're covering today. So if you'd like the chart of emails and things like that come up later in the presentation, you can download that now and be able to refer back to it later. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So again, we're going to talk about the online renewals. Now, the online renewal process here in BNI Connect is it's very similar to the paper renewal process. First step is that a member can complete a renewal application, right? Same as it is on paper, except now it's done online. The next part of that process is the renewal is reviewed and approved by the membership committee. Same thing happens. We're still going to have membership committee meetings. We're still going to review the applicant. And then rather than signing off on the piece of paper, we're going to just mark that decision in BNI Connect. And then the final step of that is the office, the regional office. They receive the payment, whether that's check or credit card or whatever. Again, that's the same as we're doing now. They're going to finalize that and to reconcile that payment. So how does that work anyway? So let's take a look at this. Now we're going to look at this from two different perspectives, okay? So we're going to look at this from a member perspective, and we're going to look at this from a leadership team perspective. So the first part of this, let's look at what does this look like for a member. Now we are going to, we're going to actually log into BNI Connect, and I'm going to show you how this works. So first things first, for a member, here's the process. We a couple of different ways that you can start the online application, okay? There's actually 5 different ways that a member can start the online application. The first way is that approximately 60 days before they are due for renewal, they will get an email that says, hey, you're up for renewal. Would you like to renew now? They can click on a link in that and start the renewal process. So that's one way. The second way, the regional website. So your regional website, you can get to it by clicking the regional website button within BNI Connect, and on there should be a Renew Now button if your region is participating in the online renewals. The third way is that once you log into BNI Connect, right on the home screen there's a link that says Renew Now. And then the other way is that there's a Renew Now button on the main profile tab of a membership record. And the fifth way, which I actually don't have listed here, is if you are pre-approved for renewal, then you'll get an email saying, hey, congratulations, you've been pre-approved, at which point you could click the link there and be able to run that approval. Now, whichever way you choose, it's all going to be the exact same process. Again, from a processing perspective, it is identical. It all starts the same thing. So this is just a quick sample of what a renewal email may look like, depending on what region it's coming from. They might have customized this, but this is the default one. And this is what it looks like. You'll see there's a Renew Now button here, and there's also to renew online, click here. So you just have to click that, and it will start the renewal process. Or from your regional website. Now, every region has their own regional website. So depending on your particular region, your website might look slightly different, but that's okay. The Renew Now button might look like this in BNI Minnesota, for example. It might look like this in BNI Heartland. And it might look like this in BNI Arizona, but whatever it is, all you have to do is click on that and it starts the renewal process. So let's take a look at what that actually looks like for a member, right? So I'm going to log in here to BNI Connect. So one of my members that's due for renewal is Marky Mark. He's in my one of my test chapters in Antarctica in the Brr chapter. So let's log in as Marky Mark here and try to renew our membership. So as I said, one of the ways is right here on the home page, Renew Now. We see our renewal date is on May 1st, so we are due for renewal. I can then click this Renew Now button. I also did mention that it is also on your profile, so if I'm in here updating my profile, towards the bottom of the page, there's a renew button here as well. So again, no matter where you click the button, it's all going to go to the same place, and that is the renewal application. So this is what the renewal application looks like. I can choose whether it's going to be 1 year or 2 years. Yes, this is Antarctica, so the fees are a little bit different in Antarctica, so the fees in your region are going to be slightly different as well. And then you're just going to answer some questions. Again, the questions might be different, but the process is the same. You just go through and you mark off the questions. The ones with an asterisk, of course, are mandatory. Now, the next part of this is I can check and update my member details. So if I click this plus button, it'll pretty much open up my profile. And if I'd like to change any of this, I can do so at this time. Now, this is especially important for things like the name and the company name and the profession, where, you know, this is your kind of legal application or reapplication to the chapter. So this is the opportunity that if you do need to change categories or things like that, to submit it at that time, and hopefully you'll be approved for that change. The agreement to the principals, and then once I've clicked this button, notice before I click the agreement, I can't click on the proceed to payment here. Once I have clicked it, this becomes available. I can then click proceed. It's going to confirm for me what my payment is going to be. I can choose how I'm going to pay. Again, your region will have different types of payments, of course, depending on what's available in your region. In Antarctica, we only allow payment by check, so we tell them to walk the check over and ask for Steve, and he'll take it. We can upload a copy of it for proof of purchase if our region is asking us to do that. Otherwise, we click Submit. Thank you for applying to renew, and we'll be contacted once a decision has been made. Now, I'll get a couple of emails during this process, of course. I will get an email, with a copy of my renewal form, and once my chapter has approved me, I will get another email saying that I have been approved. And from a member perspective, honestly, that's all there is to it. There's really not much more to it from a member perspective. It's as easy as that. So that's it from a member. So here's the just a brief review of that. Member completes the renewal application, they'll choose the payment type, and they'll get some notifications. So easy peasy. Anybody that's ever bought anything online, that process should pretty much be familiar to them. So let's take a look at this now from a different perspective. So let's look at this from a leadership team perspective. And this again, this is a slightly different process. Usually what's going to happen is this is not always, but usually going to be the vice president's responsibility, because what we need to do with online applications is that once it's an online application, it also needs to be approved through BNI Connect. So that means that somebody has to log in to BNI Connect and approve the application. And again, that's slightly different than the paper process. So when somebody renews on paper, then all you have to do is, sign the piece of paper. But again, online renewal, online approval. Paper renewal, paper approval. Now you can do a full approval, just saying, yep, we like this person, letting them renew, everything's hunky-dory. There's also a thing called a conditional approval. Now a conditional approval really is just saying, we have some questions and concerns about this one. We might be putting this person on probation, might be asking them to step up their performance. What it does is it just marks their record in the system saying, hey, this was a conditional approval. What those conditions of approval are, that's completely up to you. BNI Connect is not going to enforce the conditions of the approval. We're just going to mark down that you requested it to be a conditional approval. So hopefully that makes sense. Now there are a couple of, when your region is setting this up, they do have to make a couple of choices when they're setting up. And one of those is when to allow approvals. They can either allow pre-approvals, meaning that a member can't even submit an application until they've been approved. They could allow post-approvals, meaning they're not allowed to render a decision until after the application has been input, or they could allow both a pre-decision and a post-decision. I can tell you that most regions that are using the online renewal process allow for both pre-approvals and post-approvals. So let's take a look at how this works. So as I said, there are two different types of approvals, a pre-approval and a post-approval. For a pre-approval, there are two different ways that you can process a pre-approval. The first way is that a member renewal email will go out to the membership committee. So the member is going to get that 60 days before their renewal. The membership committee gets a list of everybody that's due for renewal in the next 90 days on the 21st of every month. So it'll contain, again, all of the people that have not yet input a renewal yet. It will contain that list of them that basically need action of some sort. So they can click that link. It'll bring them to the renewal page for that, and they'll be good to go there. The second way is if they didn't get that email, they chose to ignore that email, whatever it might be, maybe it went to spam, they can use the membership dues report in order to get there. So let's take a look at those two ways. I'm going to log in again as one of my leadership team people. So let me log out as Marky Mark here. And I need to log in as one of my leadership team. So Adam Sandler is my vice president of the group. So let's log in as Adam Sandler and take a look at this from a leadership perspective. Again, you can do it from the link in the reminder email, or the place to do this is the membership dues report. So for that, we're going to go to reports. And the third report down will be the membership dues report, and just click go. And here we'll see a list of all of our members and when they're up for renewal. So we see we have two people up for renewal in the next couple of months. We have Joey Tribbiani and we have Jamie Jones. And I think I might have, I know what happened. Hold on a second, let me fix this. What happened is that we had a leadership team changeover on April 1st, and I forgot that Adam Sandler is no longer my vice president of my chapter as of April 1st, so I need to fix that real quick. Actually, let me sign out as Adam Sandler here so we can just get this done with, and I'm going to log in as me because I still have permission to do this. Oops, all right, so let's get me logged in here. So I am logged in now. Let me go to the membership dues report for the Burr chapter here. And when you have permission to do so, what you'll see is for the people that are up for renewal, for example, Joey Tribbiani and Jamie Jones are up in the next couple of months. There's a little red head here under this column called Member Renewal, and that is really the pre-approval screen that allows you to go in and pre-approve a member. So if I click one of these links here, so for example, Joey Tribbiani, he hasn't submitted his application yet. If I look a little bit further down, we can see Marky Mark has already submitted the application, so he's not eligible for pre-approval. But on the other hand, Joey Tribbiani is available for pre-approval. When I get to this screen, I'll see a couple of things. So I'll see his name and when his renewal date is. This is the member performance for the past 6 months. So I can see all of his activity. I can review the member training history as well. This will take me to his profile. I can see what trainings he's taken, and I've also can go through and look at the rest of the profile to see what's going on there. And then comes the fun part, so the pre-approval. So in order to get the pre-approve button to light up, I have to certify that we've had our performance reviews and discussions. Keep in mind that this is not a vote. It is absolutely not a vote in BNI Connect. You have already had your vote when you have your membership committee meeting. We're still a face-to-face meeting networking group, so you have to have your membership committee meeting, and then you're just going to record your decision here in BNI Connect. So I can go ahead and certify that we've had our meeting. Then I can choose if it's conditional and whether or not we've sent any accountability letters. And again, this isn't going to send any accountability letters. It's just putting a mark on the record saying that we have done so. I can do that and I can click pre-approve. Right, and now we can see that the pre-approved button's gone away. We can see that the status is in a pre-approved status. So that means that when Joey Tribbiani logs in, he'll actually get an email right now saying, congratulations, you've been pre-approved. He can log in, process that approval, that renewal application. All right, and that's kind of all there is to the pre-approvals. All right, so the second part of this process, that's a pre-approval. We have a post-approval. In other words, for example, with Marky Mark, he already put in a application, so now we are going to approve him after the fact. So we have we can do that based on the email notifications that we get as a membership committee. We get an email saying, hey, guess what? Marky Mark just submitted an application. You need to go approve that now. The other way to do that is in the pending applications screen. So let's go take a look at the pending applications screen. So I'm back on my home page. Now the pending applications function is going to be under operations. So if I go to operations and we go to manage memberships and we go to view pending applications, we can see Marky Mark. He has a renewal input and that it's submitted, and it gives us the arrow to click on to go and approve that. So now this is pretty much the exact same thing as the pre-approval screen. The only difference is that it now has the PDF of the application. So if I can click on this, I can see the actual application. If I wanted to, if I'm on the leadership team, I want to print a copy of this and put it in the chapter box. I can do that as well if I want to. Otherwise, I can just keep it online. It will be a permanent part of their record. I can still review their training history and, of course, the same options here to certify that we've had our meeting. The one other option we have now is that we can decline this renewal. So decline doesn't necessarily mean we don't like them. It could mean that they made some changes. They changed their category that we don't approve of. Maybe they submitted for 2 years, but we only want to approve them for 1 year. So there's different reasons why when you click to decline, the member is not notified. So that's something that you still need to do as a membership committee. You need to get in touch with the member to let them know that they've been declined. We do not do that through an impersonal email. That is something that does still need to be done manually. It also does not kick them out of the chapter. That member can still, serve out the rest of their term, whether that's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, unless there are other issues that you need to discuss with them as a membership committee. But I'm going to go ahead and approve Marky Mark and keep him as a part of this chapter. Right, and that's really all there is to it. This is now complete from a leadership team perspective. It's as easy as going in and clicking one button, quite literally. So now we have the renewal approval process. In a nutshell, it is the committee reviews the application and member performance. They then record their decision, and once again, that will be forwarded to the region for final reconciliation. Right, now there are a bunch of emails that go out during this process. So before the renewal, there's a bunch of emails, the renewal notification, the member notification, the opt-out, and the pre-approved notifications. During the renewal, there's also a number of notifications that happen when it's been submitted, when the payment has been sent, and when the details might have changed on the record. And then following up, we have the follow-up emails as well. If you're curious as to which ones you get, you can check out all of these and look by position. Again, I've left this PowerPoint to you in the downloads and the handouts section. You're welcome to it, so you can review this at your leisure as well. So what I'd like to do now is to open this up to questions. This is actually one of our kind of quicker webinars. Somewhat easier process, so we usually end up with a couple of extra minutes here, but I'd like to open this up for questions. Does anybody have any questions whatsoever about this online renewal process? I'd love to answer those questions now. Any questions? So while you think of any other questions, just a reminder, this is part of a series of webinars, so we're going to be going through the rest of the series this month, and of course we repeat these webinars every single month to make sure that everybody knows how to do everything that's possible to do here in BNI Connect. All right, so let's see. David says, I think we're all still muted. Yes, I don't have the ability in this software to open up everybody's microphone. The background noise and everything else goes a bit crazy when we have this many people on a call. That said, if you are able to type your question in, I'd be happy to answer that question, David. All right, so David said, no question. So thank you guys so much for investing some time and learning more about this process that you can take back to your chapter, and for spending some time with me this afternoon. With that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. A good referral for me is to please let your chapter members know about these webinars if you found this format helpful. And of course, we have the recordings that you are welcome to forward and share with your fellow chapter members. In the meantime, happy connecting.